Hello guys, Comical here. It's been quite some time since I made a review slash microphone video. It's been so long because I've just been doing just AMVs and just random videos. I really want to get back into doing regular videos like this. It's been so long. I really want to get back, but it's just been because I live in a very tiny closet and my brother cannot. Hold up, give me a moment. So yeah, we're gonna be reviewing Paw Patrol the movie. The Mighty movie, excuse me. That was the worst thing I've ever done. So anyways, yeah, for those of you who didn't see my first one about the Paw Patrol, the movie. So yes, I saw Paw Patrol as a 24-year-old grown-ass man. Yeah, I know, I lost it right now talking like that. So yeah, I'm actually really excited to make this video. I really wanted to do a review video because I don't know, I just feel like this movie unfortunately and the last one is going to be slept on. Because unfortunately, yes, it is based off a preschool show. I know. But I don't know why people are literally trying to act like if you watch anything but Bluey, that's a huge sin. And you are a fucking man-child. I bet that's what people are gonna say. That you are a man-child because you watched Paw Patrol. I don't give a fuck. So what? How is it that different from watching a Disney movie or like a Pokemon game or playing Nintendo in general? Who gives a fuck? And this is for motivation for anybody who watches that type of... Heck, even for preschool shows. Like, don't give a fuck about what anybody says. Just screw them. If they're gonna be absolute dicks about it, just ignore them. Just don't bother listening to them. And I say that with frustration and encouragement because it's just getting really old. Because I've been seeing people say, why would you watch a preschool show? That's for like little kids. Like, who cares? Who cares if it's for little kids? As long as they're not being weird about it, making really NSFW stuff, or doing something stupid with that, then there's no issue. Like, I don't know why people make it such a big deal for adults watching something that's for kids. Like, who cares? It does piss me off. Anyways, I really wanted to finish this rant. So let's go on with the review. So yes, So like I've said, for those of you who are confused when you saw the trailer, yes, the Mighty Pups, it's actually based off of the sub-series of the same name, the Mighty Pups. So technically, like, they're basically, they get superpowers. Like, they're basically like superheroes mixed with being rescuers / being superheroes, I guess. So yeah, I know, it's kind of confusing, I was confused when I first saw the trailer for the movie back in 2013 when I saw the trailer. Well, the Mission Impossible movie that came out last year, at least the new one. Well, I don't know if it's not the new one. I saw it with my friend. I saw the trailer. I saw the Paw Patrol, the Mighty movie trailer, and it looked pretty awesome when I saw it, but I was like, man, I feel like this is way too OP, way too good to be OP based off a preschooler show. So when I saw it, I was like, yeah, oh my god, I would be embarrassing to even watch this video. It really would be to watch the movie. So then getting back later, I think October or November, I was probably willing to give the movie a chance. I've seen some clips of the movie. The panic attack was probably one of the most famous part when I saw for the first movie of the Paw Patrol. I mean, I knew a movie came out, but I just didn't want to pay any attention to it. Well, here I am, so this is why I'm going to be doing this review. So anyways, let's go on with this review. Sorry for delaying this. It's because I have my opinions. So like I've said, it's based off the sub-series. So yeah, I was confused. So let's just go on. I'm going to shut up here. So yes, I really want to start with Sky before I want to start with the other part of the review. Sky was so amazing in this movie. She's literally, in my opinion, the best character in the movie. So, and I already praised Sky, but I'm going to probably do it again here. So Sky was an amazing character. The movies did her so much justice. But unfortunately for me, this is where it kind of ends for me. I love Sky as a character, but I really hope for the third movie. I'll talk about it once I'm done with the review. About, the third movie. For those of you who didn't know, yes, they are going to release a prequel. So anyways, let's go on with what I was going to say. Anyways, so like I've said, her story was, I liked her story a little bit more. Her backstory a little more compared to Chase's backstory. And I know people are going to disagree with me on this because, Chase was abandoned in the city. Sky was just bland. I mean, she wasn't abandoned or anything. She was just living in a barn or something. Living in an adoption place, So yeah, but I'm gonna have to disagree. I actually prefer hers a little more, only because she was talking, only because she was the one narrating her backstory. Ryder was the one who was narrating Chase's backstory, and that's why I felt like hers was a little more effective for me, because it felt like, it must suck feeling, so small and weak and more neglected, or being chosen last. That must absolutely suck. And I know that may sound corny to you, but imagine this from the perspective of a kid, It's like saying, we don't want you. Screw you. You suck. You're probably going to be a lame kid, So I guess for Bud, maybe that actually, for somebody that isn't a golden child, it actually worked out in the end for her. Like, it goes to show how awesome she was. She's the real hero of the first movie and this movie. So with her in the final part of the movie, and with, especially the part where she gets her powers, that part was amazing. It goes to show her, she wanted to go see because something was glowing in the meteor that they literally just stopped. The meteor that they try to, that they literally grab for themselves, the Paw Patrol, at least Ryder. And then she goes to see her powers. And this is the first time in her life that she's ever felt so powerful because of the superpowers she got from those crystals. The one thing that, and I'm going to get into Ryder a little bit right here because it kind of has to do with this review. But oh my goodness, I cannot believe why Ryder chose not to use any of the superpowers when they probably could have gone a lot more. Like the meteor that they got. Although the funny thing, thinking about it now, I don't think she was able to steal all of the meteor. Because I don't know how, I forgot how Humdinger got his superpowers. Because I know Humdinger becomes big. And yes, he does come back, for those of you who didn't know, for the movie. So he's not really the antagonist or the villain of this movie, It's just the mad scientist, I'm going to call her. I forgot her name. Where she gets, I felt like for her as a villain, I'm sorry if I'm jumping over the place. They did a really good job with her as a villain. I don't think, yes, it's the same, like, generic, same villain, but for like a movie that's based off kids is impressive, The action scenes that they had in the movie were awesome, Like, literally. I did not expect for the movie, and that's the reason why it got a PG rating. Like, the movie, the first one got a G rating. Like, literally. But with this one, probably because of the superhero like theme of this movie, that's probably why it got a PG rating. Probably because of them trying to destroy the powers. Like, it's just so crazy to think. It's like it's like they never run out of ideas of what they want to make for a movie or like a TV series. Like, they make the Paw Patrol do almost everything. Like, it's just crazy. I don't know how they do it. Like, they probably would earn a lot of money to just come up with so many ideas to make the Paw Patrol do whatever they feel like it's their side hustle. And it's so funny that they're superheroes. Like, right now, it's funny for me right now. So like I've said, I'm gonna go back to Sky. With her flying the plane, the part where they steal her superpowers, that must have sucked being her at that moment. Like, her, because I'm so glad that they did that with the movie, showcasing that they're still pups and they're still vulnerable and weak from bigger humans, So it showed her struggle. It had nothing to really do with her being small, because I haven't seen anybody in the reviews point that out with her, or at least with the pups, because they literally did that with Chase, with one of the henchmen. I forgot his name. Burkle, whatever his name was. Butchity, I think. Butchity, I don't know. Where he literally grabs Chase, He literally tries to wrap around Chase and prevent him from escaping. And it's so funny that they did not even put him on chains. Because it does have to do. I feel like, now thinking about it, I feel like this is a copy and paste scene, unfortunately, in my opinion. They literally copy and pasted that scene of her just grabbing, her just trying to steal her power, the villain, and Sky become powerless. But what I did love about the movie, and it kind of makes it look so cringeworthy and unrealistic, but Sky can literally fly probably almost any airplane. So it literally shows her trying to fly a plane, being a little puppy, and her flying the plane on herself. Like, it's so crazy. It goes to show you how talented she is as a pilot. Like, it's not the only thing of her just knowing how to fly her own specialized plane, because the Paw Patrol, literally the puppies, have their own specialized vehicles, so it can be easy for them to drive them since they're puppies. Man, I cannot imagine what it's going to be like if they were to ever grow up. I wonder if they're gonna get upgrades. It's just insane to think about how specialized these vehicles are. And look at freaking Sky flying an airplane. Out of all things, she's literally flying a literal private jet. Like, I wish it would have been so much awesome if they showed her showing her pressing the buttons and getting the buttons. Like, I'm sorry, if you're gonna fly a plane that's big, it's gotta be, you have to at least show that she's a very talented pilot with her pressing the buttons and stuff, just like real life airline pilots or private jet pilots do, which pressing the buttons, because that's literally what they have to do. They have to press a lot of buttons because there's so much procedures for flying a plane. Like, it's just insane to think about how she literally flies a literal jet. It was so unrealistic, like kind of cringeworthy, but so cool that they did that for her. It goes to show you, and I'm so glad that that's what they did in the final part of the movie, in the climax or something, where they show her fighting off the meteors with her superpowers. Literally, her fighting the meteor going and crashing into their planet, fighting it off, her fighting off and destroying the meteors. They showed the fight scene with her, with the villain as well, but I'm probably not going to get to that part since it kind of has to do. So like I've said, her, it goes to show you how amazing she is. Like I've said, I can't stop saying it. I forgot what I was going to say. And did I mention, I really have to be careful with how I say this. I do not want people to misinterpret what I'm going to say. But Sky in the movies, I don't know if I said this in the first video. She looks amazing. I don't know how they designed her in the movies, but she looks amazing. Like literally, she looks awesome. I don't know if the graphics are still the same from the 2021 movie, but I feel like she looks a little more detailed in the second movie compared to like the first movie. She still looks the same and cool looking as awesome, but I felt like they changed it up a little bit with her design. So, I mean, it's just amazing, So I think I'm pretty much done with Sky's part, They really did her justice, So I'm going to have to say I actually liked hers a little more. Like I've said in the first part of the video about Chase, like I've said about Chase, that I'm actually a bigger fan of the way how they handled her story. Maybe it wasn't as effective as the first movie with Chase, but with Sky, like I've said, she narrated her story. That's the end for me. That was already like, you know what? So I'm gonna finish the part with Sky. So with Liberty, I feel like she's like still the secondary character. Liberty, they literally did her justice in this movie as well. But she doesn't have a huge role like she did in the first movie. But I felt like they still try to keep her like a secondary main character, which is what I like what they did with her. Because with the Junior Patrollers, the Junior Patrollers has to do with her. Because she's literally the one who trains them, because she didn't want them to be they didn't want to be lazy. Well, she didn't want to be just them watching TV, doing nothing all day. Like, she wanted to give them the experience of what it's like to be in a Paw Patrol. Like, it's time to get serious now. Let's go training. No more of this blazing around just because writer says, And that's what I have to agree with one of the reviewers about Chase and Sky. About Sky and Liberty. Literally. I'm sorry, but these girls were more of a man than these the boys, Like I said, I'm going to say this again. Like with Liberty, she literally took charge. These girls were willing to go against what writers' wishes, which is awesome to see them go in line, thinking of new ideas, thinking outside the box instead of what I know. Writers, the boss, and obviously you got to do what somebody tells you to do since they're the boss. But it's amazing to see these girls out of anything compared to the boys, the puppy boys, Like, these girls were really more of a man and taking charge than these boys ever could. I am so proud of Liberty and Sky. These girls, if there are no real men in this world, these girls should totally take over. Because these boys we have and guys that we have in today's world, if men are going to be sissies in today's world, let the women who really want to be the man and take over if you men aren't going to do shit. Because that's what I personally believe. And that's why maybe a girl boss is a good idea to be portrayed. Because I feel like most men today, in my opinion, have been so screwed up, thanks to society's pressures and expectations of guys I don't know what happened to men in today's world. And I know I'm just thinking it too deeply about it. But maybe it was a good thing that they did that for Sky and Liberty, because they're literally the girls that said no. In their minds, like, no, I'm gonna go against what Ryder told us to do. with her, I forgot to mention about that with Sky. So I'll go back into Sky in a little bit. I'm not done with Liberty yet. So with Liberty, I liked how she didn't like being a parent. Oh my God, I don't want to be a babysitter. Hell no. Hell no. I'm sorry. I'm way too hyped to make this video. Like, she did not want to babysit the junior patrollers. Like, she did not like. She was like, hell no, in her mind. I don't want to be a babysitter. When Ryder told her not to, that she could not go with them because she did not know her superpowers, or she didn't have her superpowers yet. And that's what I like what they did with Liberty, because they really weren't done with Liberty. Even though the first movie was done, they really did want to give her time to shine, still with this movie. With her just training the junior patrollers. And, and I feel like she's probably like a proud parent, even though she's probably just a kid, just a puppy being voiced by an adult, if you didn't know. Or, I don't know, I've heard she was a teenager, but no, I think she's just an adult. So with, like I've said, Liberty, that's what I really love with her super stretch powers, her flexible powers, like, Elastigirl from The Incredibles. That was pretty amazing. And I guess it made sense because she's a dachshund, So like I've said, so Ryder tells, what, I'm going back into what I'm saying. I forgot to say, Ryder did not really completely approve of her doing training for them, for the junior patrollers, because it was more of just them visiting the Paw Patrol and seeing what they do. But she thought in her mind, you know what? I'm going to make them into green little mean machines, or something like that. I forgot completely what she said, So she really wanted, like I've said, I'm sorry. I should not be repeating what I've said, So I feel like with Liberty, they did a really good job with her. So I'm going to be done with Liberty's part, So at the other parts, with Chase, Chase, of course, he's not the main character anymore. I still think, it was awesome to see Chase, try to kind of comfort her, although I wish he could have told her more encouraging stuff. I did like what he said about that could have happened to any of us. And she was like, I know, but it happened to me. Or no, she said, but it didn't. It happened to me. I did like how he did try to encourage Sky to try to give her a boost morale or something, some motivation. So I guess that was probably the best part, because I remember with her just being like the leader on that part, being the guide, or to comfort him to some extent and help, in the first movie, her helping him, getting down, because he suffered a panic attack. So he literally was really scared, and she took her down with her helicopter because he was already too emotional at that point to even try to get down. And then with this time, it's like Sky's the one being the Debbie Downer, the one being in the sad mood and all that stuff, But then Sky didn't, Chase didn't really do too much, because he just said, I'm sorry, I didn't know, or something like that. Although I did see a movie reviewer say he could have done so much more to say something more encouraging than just say that could have happened to any of us. That was a good touch, because, oh my goodness, I really don't want to force the ship, but I can see why people like Chase X Sky. I can see why people ship them, but I am kind of glad they didn't go too crazy with it, because I don't think they really want to ship, because I know Spin Master is trying to deny that they're in love or something. And I know it's inappropriate to be like that because they're children. And yes, I know People are creepy about it, unfortunately. I dare you not to even think about looking into that stuff. It's worse if it is. I don't even ever think about looking anything involving worse that has to do with Sky and Chase. Just please don't. Please try to filter anything that shows in between both of them. Because I'm doing that as a way, because that's what makes the shippers look bad, to seeing something even more explicit. And I'm sorry if I have to bring it up, but unfortunately, this is what makes the adult fan bases look bad, because of those people that make drawings of, and not to mention that they're kids. You have to be messed up if you're even making that type of art. So, anyways, sorry if I did my rant there. I really didn't want to make it a little too long. So, anyways, like I've said, I really do hope in the third movie they really do explore their friendship. It's if they're not in love, at least they're just best friends. Although I could see them being close to being a couple. And if they're not, like, I could see them being like best friends, but they could be close to being, a couple. Because it's weird to see in the shows, I'm not going to get into details. They might have feelings, but they're probably just soft feelings and not very strong love feelings for each other. Because Chase does worry about anything happening to Sky in the TV show. Like, what boy in the Paw Patrol would even do that? Like, they would worry about her, but Chase is like the most worried about her in the TV show, because I really liked how it goes to show you, like, literally Sky, I mean, Chase is the one to talk to her about how she was feeling. Although I will say in the first movie, I don't know. I mean, writer did order Sky to just literally get to get Chase down, but I feel like with her soothing voice, with her caring voice and charming voice, I feel like I guess maybe it would make sense for them to just, maybe because they probably might have did it on secret to troll, the fan base, I guess, about Sky X Chase. So yeah, I want to leave it at there. Sorry if I made this a little too long. I mean, that segment too long. I'm gonna try to get into the best parts. I guess the junior patrollers, they were pretty good. I thought they would be super annoying children, but I think the animators or the movie did a really good job on making them just innocent children that aren't too childish, or at least, not be too stereotypical of children, like too crazy of a kid. They're little, they're tinier than the Paw Patrol, the puppies. So I guess I can say that was that's the best part of the movie. So let's get into the dialogue. I'm sorry if I made Sky and Liberty and Chase's segment a little longer. I apologize for that. So anyways, let's get into the what I thought about the plot and the dialogue. The dialogue for this one was so much better. And the childishness was reduced a lot. The first movie was a little awkward. Liberty's part, in the first movie was just a little awkward, with her just inserting herself. And I'm going to go into the first movie as well, because this does have to do with this one, to what I want to say. For those of you who want to recap or didn't watch the first movie, you should watch the first video of the first movie. Anyways, with her, I did not like how brash or how braggy or how egotistical she was, or too prideful she was about with her, just calling herself an honorary member. I did not like that. So I'm not going to repeat myself too much with what I said on the other video. But, I will say they improved on Liberty's character a little more. They reduced her sassiness. I mean, I guess there wasn't anybody for her to roast, you know. But I feel like Liberty's character was still good. Although they did keep that sassiness, like I've said, you know, with her like, oh, since when did the Pod Patrollers become a babysitting, you know, group or whatever? So like I've said, the plot, I feel like it was so much better. They really did want to make it a little bit more serious because this was a superhero movie. And the PG rating was mostly for the action scenes than the dialogue. Although I felt like it was a good soft PG movie. I really do think they wanted to go hardcore with this movie. Like they really wanted to be inspired from the Disney like superhero movie, well, the Pixar movie, The Incredibles, and then mixed with the. And I forgot to mention, I've heard that the composer for the movie was a composer from one of the Marvel movies, which totally makes sense. You know, it was a great idea to have her be the composer for the movie because she has some experience with, you know, making superhero, you know, the movies, you know, so she has some experience with, you know, composing for those movies, which with the cinematic orchestra, you know, themes, you know, absolutely she knocked it out, you know. So the music was pretty decent, you know, nothing to be that iconic about. I'm excluding the copyrighted music or the pop music that they included, you know. I was a little bit cringe. It was more like for me laughing on the part. I forgot the song's name, what it's called. I don't care. It's from 2013. I have not heard. I've had kind of a little chuckle when they showed the Humdinger scene, and then they were playing that song. That was a pretty awesome segment, you know, because they literally shows the Junior Patrollers going back to try to save the day. I don't know if they came back on their own or a writer secretly called them, or maybe they really did want to try to save them, the Paw Patrol. But the dialogue, like I've said, you know, the first one I did not like about the inconsistencies with unrealistic parts of the dialogues, you know. So like I've said, Liberty and everybody in the movie was pretty, and Sky, most of them were pretty good. I really hope Marshall is the next main character. They have to make Marshall. I'm sorry if I'm going back and forth. They have to make Marshall the main character for the next movie. I'm going to get back into it later on. So I just want to jump that in there. So I don't think I really have anything to complain about for this movie. Like, I don't know how it got much lower ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. Maybe people thought that the movie was too OP. Like, they try to make this movie like too OP. Maybe people thought that was too much. It felt a little bit off of line for it to become a superhero movie. So I guess its subgenre for the movie is a superhero movie, I guess. But for younger audiences, for like children in general, like, yes, honestly, there's going to be childish moments, but I feel like the childish moments, in my opinion, for this movie has been reduced a lot more. The jokes have been like the humor wasn't anything nasty or very weird and inappropriate, kind of inappropriate, like say the fart jokes. I'm so glad they did not do that because, oh my God, Illumination movies are crazy with that. I'm so glad that Nintendo totally worked with Illumination to prevent that crap from going on. I'm so glad that the humor was very wholesome. The humor was not, the comedy for the movie was not that crazy. I did not really cringe at all. Even with the humor that was quite childish for the first two movies, this one and the other movie, like, it was pretty amazing, you know. The humor was pretty like wholesome. It wasn't hardcore comedy. That's what I can appreciate about the Paw Patrol. Maybe because it was based off a preschooler show. Maybe that's why they made the movie a lot more enjoyable for me because it was less childish. It was less childish compared, a little bit more or less childish compared to the first movie. The first movie was, I feel like with the childish humor, they amped it up a little more. Maybe that's why they improved that, like to reduce the humor, the crazy childish humor. Like with compared to the first one, where they were showing his Humdinger's henchmen, when they did their little fight, no me, and then they do their little slapping hand. They're slapping each other with their hands, like this. Oh, that was a good one. That sounded so good on camera, Like you get what I'm saying for the first one. I'm sorry if I'm inserting the first movie, but it kind of has to do with this one. I really love, like I've said, I felt like it cringe-worthy. Like, man, I hate myself for watching this movie, and I felt that embarrassment. But either way, nobody's was near my computer for anybody to see me watch the movie. I only watched those two movies because of me wanting to try to watch some animated movies that I did not watch, I really want to watch Spirited Away and my Tokoro. I forgot, it's like some type of cat, My Tokoro or something like that, I forgot. Anyway, so, anime movies. But I really do want to get back into watching movies, Paw Patrol, literally, the only reason, and I'm going to end this with this part of the video. I'm not done yet. I still have more to say. So when I was seeing the Paw Patrol movies, I only watched it as a fan of animation and art, To be honest with you, I am sick with the movies in general. I think the movies suck ass. I think Hollywood just sucks in general. It really did suck. Absolutely sucks. I think Hollywood sucks. But now, if I'm gonna watch a movie, and because of Disney just fucking up real good, these latest movies, I have zero interest in watching Moana 2. Don't get me wrong. I saw Moana and I was impressed with the movie. I thought, it's just a Disney princess movie. Why do I give a shit about that? Why would I give a shit about that? Because it's like a Disney princess movie. When I saw the movie, I was quite impressed with the movie. Anyways, that's not what it's about. I think Paw Patrol literally helped me, really, and Puss in Boots. Puss in Boots and Paw Patrol were really the movies that literally portrayed panic attacks in a really good way. Like very realistic way, in a more compassionate and less humorous way, in a more serious tone. So I'll just say this. So thank you, Paw Patrol, the movies. Thank you so much for giving me that push to appreciate, or animated movies in general that came out in the 2020s. They're going to release a movie next year, an animated movie based off of the comic series, the graphic novel series, Dogman. So it's going to come out next year. Oh, hell yeah, I'm going to watch the movie. I have the urge now to watch movies again. And I don't really want to watch all the movies because, I don't know, movies kind of suck, like I've said earlier. But maybe I can start watching more animated movies. Like, who cares what people say? Like, the critics are important so you can know if the dialogue is going to be good or not. But at the same time, maybe you need to just stop blaming the people. I'm not here to tell you, and I'm going to end it with this part. So what I'm going to say here is that, you should watch the movie for yourself, or any movie in general. You should not care what people think. You shouldn't care what I think about, even if I said something positive or negative. Like, you should not care with what I have to say. You really shouldn't care. You should just you watch the movie for yourself, and then you decide for yourself. So like I've said, I'm almost done with this video. I'm going to try to see what else I want to talk about. I think the action scenes were pretty amazing in the movie. It was very lighthearted. It was very soft. It wasn't too hardcore. It was in the middle. Like, it wasn't too hardcore. Neither was it too soft. The action scenes were pretty decent, you know. It's totally a movie I believe people that love animation or art in general should give the movie a watch and just not give a shit about what anybody, heck, even me or even on YouTube. So I would probably, for right now, I would probably give it a bigger score, a little bit of a bigger score than the first movie. Don't get me wrong, the first movie was good, but and it has nothing to do with it having the superhero power and making it more a hero based, like fighting the bad guy. And I guess that's what they wanted to do with this movie. The animators put so much love, despite it not being the hugest budget, like $100 million budget. You know, they really did a good job. The animators for this movie, they really pulled it off, despite it only being like 2 years of development, you know, for the movie. They did a great job. All the animators that worked on this movie and the first movie, thank you so much. You know, you guys did an amazing job. And I know I'm giving it way too much credit than what it needs to be, but for a Paw Patrol movie, for a movie based off a preschooler show, they did an amazing job to surprise even the adults. Like, they really wanted to not let the adults get too bored, you know, with the movie. They really did not want the adults, like, they did not want to torture the adults. They really wanted the adults to have some form of fun with their children when they're watching the movie. So yeah, I would probably give it a 8.5 stars, or probably 10 out of, I would give it, no, I would probably give it an 8. I would probably give it a 9 out of 10. Yeah, I would give it a 9 out of 10. I was so impressed with this movie. I'm so glad that they improved more on the dialogue. The script was a lot better, you know, compared to the first movie. A little bit cringeworthy, a little bit for the first movie, but the dialogue, they got serious. They made the dialogue a lot more serious. I felt like the childish moments were reduced a lot less compared to the first movie. The first movie was, I don't know, maybe because it was their first movie, they wanted to give it kind of the childish moments. Although I don't, although I will say with the Paw Patrol theme, you would kind of cringe to it, like, oh, they make it sound super childish on purpose because it's a kid's movie. I did cringe for the first one, although I don't remember for the second one if they had one for the second one. Maybe it was more of the musical, just with audio, with just the song and not the singing, I guess. So I will say, I feel like it was a little more mature, a little bit more mature, you know, probably because of the action scenes. They did try to portray her in a very stereotypical villain manner. And they did a very good job with her, with the villain, you know. Amazing job. Although I'm giving this movie a praise only because of, you know, for the expectations to be very low. My expectations were very low, and I'm not the only one who is saying this. There were people literally making reviews on YouTube saying, oh man, this is based off a preschooler show. Oh, this is going to be cringe. But they're like, wow, I was very impressed. And I'm not the only one saying this. I was quite impressed with what they've been doing with these movies. I really hope, and I'm probably going to end it there, you know, because this, like I've said, I'll try to see my last points that I wanted to make, you know. Rubble, Rocky, Marshall, I don't think there really is anything for me to say. So I'm sorry if I left these guys out. But they weren't really that important, that crazily important in the film. They have their roles and they're pretty awesome, you know. They're cute and awesome characters. These boys were great too, but they didn't give them enough love compared to the first movie. And in the first movie, I felt like they were not left out too much. Like, I felt like they were a little bit more involved with the movie compared to second movie, although they did showcase their talents and superpowers. I will say Zumas is awesome, but I meant to say Rocky's was pretty awesome. It's like he has psychic powers and he's magnetic as well, He can use magnetism too. I think his superpower might be my favorite one. But I'm feeling like Rocky doesn't get enough love, in my opinion. I know people say Zuma, but I will say Zuma might be. Rocky is the cutest that I've seen for the movies. Like he just looks so cute as a doggy. All of the puppies, the animations were very good. Oh my goodness, these puppies, they did a good job with the animation and art design in making them look so cute. Oh my god, Chase looked really cute in that scene where he looked to be pretty sad. And I know I shouldn't be taking any pleasure in someone's misery, but you know, these dogs, all of them look really cute. They did a great job with the dogs. Like I cannot get enough with the art style. Now, I guess as an adult, as a movie critic, I guess I could say, yeah, I would say as a critic that wasn't going too hard on the movie, I would have to say it was pretty basic. It was pretty good. It was okay. Nothing too exciting, you know. Although maybe I cannot pretend to do that. I could pretend to do that for the first movie. Like, yeah, it was pretty good. It wasn't okay. I'd say good, but not too awesome. Dialogue wise and story building wise, I guess, for the first two movies. So yeah, this is like a part two. For the both movies, I can congratulate them, Nickelodeon and Spin Master and whoever animated the movie. You guys did an amazing job. I have never been this excited to watch a movie in forever. Oh my goodness. I have not been this crazy since the Super Mario Brothers movie. I have never been this hyped to even watch the Paw Patrol. And the good news is, for those of you that care about development and more delays and more times to make the movie will be coming out in 2026, which will probably be by the next year if you're in 2025, because the time is approaching. Because they did announce a Paw Patrol 3 for 2023 back then in October, that they were planning on making a third movie. And, and to say that as a grown ass man, I have no embarrassment. I don't care what anybody says to me if I were to go in the movies, if anyone were to make a big deal, but I don't think anybody would care. I would just say to the guy or whoever, I would say, I'm going to watch the Paw Patrol movie, the third movie or whatever the name is for the third movie, without any embarrassment. And I encourage you to do the same if you want the third movie to be the first movie you see in movie theaters. I absolutely encourage you to just do it with pride and no shame, All this shame and stigma about being a man child or woman child or whatever, you can just take those embarrassments out of the blue. Like, go watch the movie with confidence. Just don't care, because you know what? I'm going to do the same thing. I am totally hyped for the third movie. And I really do hope that they make the third one, so much better. I hope they learn from their mistakes that they've done for the first and the second movie and improve the dialogue and the story so much better. I really hope that, because I believe they will have more time to make the movie. So let's say this. The first Paw Patrol movie came out in 2021. So 21, 22, 23. So 3 years. 3 years have been between the movies coming out. This movie that I'm reviewing is the one that came out last year, 2023. So yeah, 4 years of them developing the movie. They better do not fail this. If they want to keep on making the movies and the fans want it, I believe they could go even way longer. They could probably go for a fifth movie if they wanted to. I mean, they're going to do that for a Kung Fu Panda. They're probably going to make a fifth movie. This is like their fourth movie for Kung Fu Panda. And it took them many years for them to want to make it. It's amazing. This is something you've got to give Paw Patrol the movie credit to. They literally have done a great job making these movies. Going into like the few years that they had to make the movie, they did a great job making the movie. Although I don't want to give them too much praise for these movies, because yes, there's going to be some cons. But for what they did with a small budget and a short time frame, they did a pretty amazing job. I don't want to give the movie too much praise. Of course, there's Disney movies will always, or even the Puss in Boots movie will always, or at least The Last Wish, that one, not the first movie. The Last Wish is a sequel, So anyways, that's all I wanted to say, If you guys liked the video, hit a like and subscribe. Peace. I'm sorry if I made this too long or I made your head spin with the inconsistencies, because I'm trying to make this as real as possible. Screw the script, screw trying to get a lot of views by not being myself and doing the videos the way I want to make them, not how every YouTuber wants to make it. But hey, no, beef with you, any of you who feel like that need to make their videos look too professional. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you guys for watching this video. The next video, if I don't release it first, I'm going to make it for the reaction video that I want to make for the fan video. And I'm going to make and that one's going to be a little different. So anyways, thank you guys for watching the video. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Hopefully when the new Paw Patrol movie comes out, I am going to be absolutely making a review for 2026. Hopefully I moved out of my parents' house by the time I'm 25 or 26 years old. Anyway, see you guys. Goodbye.